Aiden says, you can tell by the rough area of the water where the big rocks are, so the gold would get caught in between the rocks, then probably move into the deep end. Not quite, because it's that same principle we've been talking about, and the sweeping action during high water changes the whole game. So yes, the rocks there tell you that that is a shallowing area, and that is where material drops out, typically on the front edge of this. But it doesn't necessarily say that the gold is going to get caught all the way down through these riffles. The honest truth is that it's going to tend to sweep into this area over here more. And it might trap out in some of these places, especially if these boulders were connected to bedrock, because then they form a natural trap and they form a permanent one at that. Those are the things you're really looking for. Let's see. Arnie says, right where the water changes color, where the rapids stop, is my area. Okay, so he's saying right back in here. And where the hold stopped being pushed, I guess where the gold stopped being pushed by the fast water, and it drops and collects in pockets. So, yes, it could collect back here in pockets, but it would be more likely to be in the inside edge of this, and more likely to be smaller pieces of gold than on the front edge. And the reason is the same thing we talked about, and that is the velocity here is highest, and the gold will stop where the velocity just drops below that point where friction will make it move. And so the gold will stop out early, and once it stops out and gold and boulders and rocks start forming on top of it, it's not going to go anywhere. It won't go back into these pools just because they're nice for trout. It's going to stay up front here where it's rough. And so that's something just to keep in mind. Now, it may eventually work its way around this corner and drop out here, especially if the pool forms some kind of a trap. But notice this pool has a narrowing again. Remember that it's even narrower than this is. So any water flowing high in this canyon is going to neck down through here and form a jet. And anything in the back of here that is going to be of significance, if there isn't much in the way of a trap back here, this kind of pool will blow gold right on down to the next trap, just right out of this hole. And so you have to keep an eye on that. Waterfalls will do the same thing. They'll just blow it right out, and it'll end up down in the next little piece of the canyon. And so if you spend all your time looking there, unless there's some kind of natural trap, someplace where the velocity goes to zero and stays there, then you're not going to find the gold there. You're going to find it scoured out and driven downstream, even big pieces. Let's see what else we got. Sunny says, where the river turns and winds. Yes, basically around this corner. Edwin says, I think he's saying EnviroNuts will shut this down before you can find out. Well, that's a good question, but it's not really relevant to what we're looking for. I won't go into the rest of what he says. He says there's some color in that stretch of the Colorado, and I want to dredge it. It does look like good dredging, Edwin, and that's another point. That there's many ways to get to the gold, but some of the most interesting area looks right in here, and this is dredging territory right here. Very important to catch that. And some of this might be back here, depending upon the kind of traps that are in here. All this in here would be good for a high banker dredge or something like that along these edges, right in here. And so, yeah, there's a lot of territory there that looks